Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, it's been a couple of weeks since I uploaded, but I did this live for Print by Example the other week and I absolutely love how it turned out, so I thought I'd share it here again. I did that with a previous video, but today I'm going to be using some of our gorgeous floral decals. I obviously did a set last time and it was all purple, so I thought we'd go a little bit lighter and we'd go for some pinks. So I'm going to be using a whole mix of our different floral decals. There are absolutely loads you can choose from. I will put my discount code on the screen as well, so you can save 10% off all orders over £40. Trust me, there's so much you can get for that. For that amount. It is such good value for money. I'm not just saying that because I'm an ambassador. I'm saying that purely because it's something that I believe in. I don't support brands that I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, discount code will be on screen so you can save some pennies. All instructions of them are on the back as well, but I will walk you through how I do my decals. Yeah, so I've got a whole bunch today. These I'm just going to give a real mix of them. So these are the ones that I used on a previous video. I will leave a link to that one somewhere. But today I'm going to give them, I'm going to use a real mix of them. Not quite sure whether they're all going to work, but they kind of do at the same time. It was really weird, but I just love how they come out. There's so many, perfect for spring and summertime. So I'm going to do accompany these with a little glitter mix. Now this is a little bit of Glistening Sweetheart, I believe, March Hare, and a tiny bit of Wisteria from Phoenix Glitter. The Glistening Sweetheart is one of their coloured acrylic powders. Again, I will put a discount code on screen so you can save some money there, and all links to all of the products will be in the description box as well. I'm super excited because I'm actually in the process of organising a giveaway, so make sure you like and subscribe to find out more about that. But anyway, onto the nails. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do 3 nail tips. I've got 5 here, and I'm going to do 3 in a white gel polish. So I do one very, very thin layer. It's better to work in thin layers with gel polish than thick ones. And then I'm going to cure these, and then I will do a second layer of gel polish once I am happy, and I will cure these in my lamp. Like I said, these take 30 seconds, but just go by your brand's manufacturing instructions. So yeah, I'm just doing thin layers of the white. I'm going to do 2 coats and cure this in my lamp. Then whilst that's curing, I am going to take a very, very small wet bead of Glistening Sweetheart and put this all over the nail. The reason I'm doing this now, I only want a very thin layer, is because I don't want it to be completely clear. I want there to be a little bit of a background for my glitters to go over the top. The glitters will go over a clear tip or a natural nail without a problem, but I just think it adds a little bit more depth when you've got a little wash of colour behind. Personal preference, you don't have to do it this way. But I'm going to do my the last 2 tips in this exact method. So like I said, a very thin wet wash of the coloured acrylic powder, and it's just going to kind of pull it all together, and it's just going to give that glitter something extra. March Hare is I've used it in so many different videos. It's such a beautiful glitter, but it reflects different lights dependent on the background that it's on. So it's going to have like a really pretty golden pink sort of look with this. So obviously here you can see is my little mix. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into a very small bead of clear acrylic, then into my glitter. And I'm just going to kind of place this on the nail. I'm not being too careful where I put it. I'm obviously trying to get as neat a cuticle area as possible. But I'm literally just going to dip into my acrylic, my clear acrylic, and then into the mix here. And just pick it up and place it on the nail. You can already see how pretty March Hare is. It's one of my all-time favourites. And paired with some wisteria, it is gorgeous. So I'm just going to do this on both of these nails and set them to the side to set up. the decal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really speed this up because you do not want to watch me cut these out in normal time. So I'm just going to cut out all of the decals I want to use. I'm going to cut them out all in slightly different sizes. I do also have those leopard ones, but I decided I don't want that for this design. So I'm just cutting them all out, different sizes, like I said, different designs, and the padlocks are just gorgeous. What I then like to do is I like to take a very thin layer of base coat, and I'm going to put this all over the nail. It's entirely personal preference how you use decals, but I find that putting a layer of base coat and not curing it is perfect for the decals to stick to. You can obviously do it on a matte surface or on a tacky surface, but I find this is brilliant. I'm very heavy-handed. I try not to be, but I just am. So having the base coat means that you can put the decal on and you still got that slippery surface to kind of move it into place, but minimal creasing as well. So that's what I like to do. I take the decal out of the water, dab off of the excess, place it onto the base coat. Because it's gonna cure stuck to the base coat, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm just gonna go in and do that to all of my decals. They come away from the backing super easy. As you can see, I'm just dabbing off the excess water on this one. These tiny little ones are perfect for the cuticle zone. Don't worry if you have some overhang, we can trim this up super easily, it's not a problem. And you can just see how easy it is to move in the base coat. And it is because it's wet. There's no creases or anything, which is perfect. So I'm just going to kind of maneuver them slightly. I want to have this. I don't want there to be that much blank space on these nails. And as you can see, look, it just comes away super duper easily. I'm just going to kind of fill in the blank space with any little flowers. And again, I don't mind if it overlaps ever so slightly. I'm just going to kind of place them where I want them. Again, overhang is not the end of the world. We will fix this. I will show you exactly what I do to alleviate this problem. I've done it in several other videos before. I will leave links to some of those so you can check them out as well. But this is what we're looking like so far, and you could obviously leave it like this if you wanted to, but I want these to be fairly full. So I'm taking a bigger one now. Again, I wasn't sure if this pattern would work because it's not as pale and light as the other ones, but it does pull together. So as you can see, there's a lot of wastage on this one. You could trim this off and put it somewhere else on the nail, but I didn't want to. I wanted to have mostly the pink flower, sorry. So I've placed that on, and there's a little bit of white space between the decals that I don't want. So I'm going to take these gorgeous little ones again, and I'm going to go for like the reddy sort of peachy tones because that's kind of what's in the. Now you could go for the other purples or the yellow ones if you wanted to, but I thought these would be the best fit. And I'm literally just going to place it in that little gap, and it just gets rid of that extra blank space that kind of doesn't make much sense. So I'm just going to maneuver him where I want him. I kind of want him going off an angle, I think, but just play with it until you're happy, really. And then once I'm happy, and I think he's looking pretty good, I'm going to cure him in my lamp for 30 seconds. And this is just because it's wet, you still got playtime to kind of move them wherever you want them. I'm pretty happy, so I'm going to cure him. And then whilst that is in the lamp curing, I'm going to clear cap these nails. I'm using the Phoenix Sheer Paradise clear powder here, and I'm just going to speed through capping these. I'm going to do both of the nails as well. I'm taking bigger beads here and just kind of placing them on the nail. I'm using a much smaller brush than I would normally, but it was because I cured acrylic in my other one like an idiot. But I'm just going to kind of cap these. Let me know if you want a more in-depth tutorial on how I do my acrylics, then I can obviously do that for you. But yeah, so I've done both of those nails. It's come out of the lamp, and what I like to do now is I take my scissors and I just run them along where there's some of the excess. Because the decal is now cured into that base coat, you're not going to run the risk of pulling them up. which I've done on so many occasions before I found this technique. There is still a little bit of overhang, but that's not a problem because we will fix it in the next step. So I'm going to take my Phoenix Snow White top coat and I'm going to top coat these nails. Now I like to kind of float the top coat on, so I get it quite neat at my cuticle, and then as you can see I'm just kind of floating it down. I'm not dragging it because the last thing I want to do is pull the decals up. I'm using as light a hand as possible, and I'm making sure that I do get a little bit of top coat over that overhang because it's going to go kind of rigid in the top coat. It makes it easier to file it away. Again, completely personal preference how I like to do it, but I'm just being picky now, getting it all top coated. And then I've sped this up and I'm just going to repeat exactly the same steps that I did for that first nail and add in some extra flowers. So you can see I'm using some of these fairy ones, just taking some of the floral roses from there. I'm not going to talk throughout this, I'm just going to let you watch me do them because it's exactly the same thing that I did before, and then we'll get onto the filing and I show you how you can fix the overhang. So yeah. Once your decals are all, the first layer of top coat is done, what we're going to do is we're now going to file these up. So I'm just taking a file and I'm going to do this to all of them, but I'm a bit harder with the acrylics. I'm just going to file around, perfect that cuticle shape, file all of the sidewalls and the free edge to bring our lovely coffin shape back. And then I like to file on the underside just because sometimes acrylic can get under there. You're not going to have that issue if it was a client, but because it's a tip you do. So I go pretty hard with my file to get my shape right, and I then will file over the top of the nail as well. I did a pretty good I did a pretty good acrylic application, so there's not too much filing to be done, but this is just going to smooth it all out, get rid of any of those little lumpy bumps that might be in there from where you capped the glitter. And I'm going to do this on both of my acrylic nails as well. So for our decals now, as you can see, we've top coated it so that it's all rigid. I'm going to do exactly the, I couldn't think for a second then. I'm going to do exactly the same thing and just perfect that cuticle line. I'm a tiny bit out of shot, but you can see just where a tiny little bit of the excess has come off. And I'm going to file along the sides and like that underside sort of area. And this is just going to help bring that shape back and remove that overhang so we can cap it properly. We can do a final top coat and we're going to prevent any lifting or anything or chipping. So as you can see, I'm filing all over the sides and just kind of perfecting that to make sure I'm happy with it. And I do this on all of them. And then I give them a very light file over the top. Not too hard because you do not want to file through your top coat, but it's going to even that top surface out as well. And then I go in with a buffer just to remove some of the demarcation lines. I don't want to smooth it out too much because then your top coat won't adhere to it properly, but I also don't want there to be really like deep obvious marks when you top coat, so I'm just going to give them a fairly light buff over at the end as well before I do my final top coat. Okay, so there they are, all matte, and they do look gorgeous matte. I really love matte nails. I don't know a huge amount of people that do, but I'm a sucker for a matte nail. I just think they can look so pretty. So I'm doing a shiny top coat on these, but I do actually decide at the end that I think the matte glitter looks so much nicer. So that's what I'm going to do. I will matte that one. But for this one, we're going to go in and do top coat, and you can just see how it brings it back to life. It is still pretty matte, but I really love the contrast between matte and shiny nails in a set, so that's kind of why we're doing it this way. So I'm just going to top coat these, and I've done them so one has less decals on there, just to add a little bit of variety to the design. I don't want them all to be completely full on, but they are all so pretty. This is probably my favourite one, giving you a zoom in shot so you can really see that top coat bring it to life. Oh, look at it. I'm in love with this set. I love florals, floral decals. And decals are perfect if you're lazy or you're not that great at nail art. They're super salon viable. I'm not the best at some nail art, but these decals just make it so easy, and they accompany the glitter and the acrylic perfectly. Once this is done, I'm going to cure it in my lamp. So here they are with the glitter ones matte. I love how they've turned out. I just think the matte makes it look so pretty. I will show you an outdoor shot as well so you can see it in natural daylight. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you have liked this week's video. Please do like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.